welcome to an episode of Lifting Your Spirits. This week, I talk to Liliana Velásquez, a Colombian who is, quite frankly, she's awesome. We had some great chats about her time in Miami in the 80s, her Dominatrix days in New York, some celebrities in there, hashtag Jim Norton, and how we are very much on the hustle with our comedy in COVID times. It was an absolutely fantastic interview, loads and loads of laughter. You're going to enjoy yourself. I made her a banana daiquiri. Yeah, check out the link for some deep dive on that. You can make it with me in the little step-by-step video. You can also check out more stuff that I do on the Buy Me a Coffee link, which will always be in your peripherals. Go check it out. Some more podcasts and recipes and comedy sketches. In the meantime, I'm very glad you're joining us, and I really hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers. Welcome to another episode of Lifting Your Spirits, where I am going to show you how to make a cocktail the proper way. And I'm going to take that cocktail to my guest who's waiting in the West Wings, and we're going to talk about all things life. And I'm very glad you're here to join us. I'm going to show you a quick version of the cocktail now, but click on the link underneath the video. It will take you to a deep dive version of this cocktail where it's a step-by-step guide, and you can make it with me and you can show me your results. For now, let's make a daiquiri. We all know it, that beautiful, crisp, clean, unaged white rum with some fresh lime juice, always fresh, some lovely sugar syrup or demerara, and it's all shaken up and then beautifully put into a lovely glass. I want to show you today the banana daiquiri. Sounds exotic because it is. The first thing that we're going to need is rum. And I want to go in with 60 mils of this amazing, unique Scottish rum. And I just absolutely adore that colour. The next thing we need is our banana liqueur. I just want to go in here with 15 mils of this, right? Now for important stuff. Fresh lime juice, all right? So that goes in. And then we're gonna go in with some sugar syrup. I would go in with about no more than 15, okay? And what I want to do now is just add the smallest amount of agave syrup, good ice, good proper, good ice. And now we're going to shake this really hard and vigorously. And let's see what we've got here. Look at that. It's like a lovely yellow, rich amber colour, as opposed to this almost muddy colour that you can sometimes get if you use aged rum. Okay, let me take this drink to my guest. Well, there was a reason why I done a banana daiquiri today, because my guest, very international, comes all the way from Colombia. She's a staple diet on this Berlin scene, and she's a dancer, she's a self-defense instructor. It's only Liliana Velásquez, everyone.
¡Uy, la, la! ¡Qué delicia! Gracias.
Hello, lovely people. It's only Liliana. Hiya.
Only? What the fuck is that?
I love it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good for considering what's happening in the world. I'm one of those optimistic people.
I like it. I feel like there's too much light on me right now. Is that?
I know, there's not enough on me.
Look at this. Look, you of this Colombian beauty, and this is just this pale blue Scottish, you know?
You put me in the shadow
Jeez.
here. I was like, how do I play to the light?
I should blame the sun. First of all, how's your cocktail, mate? How do you like it?
My cocktail is delicious. Surprisingly so. I didn't mention that I normally don't like anything banana, other than bananas.
Okay, nice.
But did you do this because Sunday Slips has a banana logo?
No, yes. I kind of was trying to think of kind of Colombian, kind of Southern American, and as I said...
you mean the tragedy in our banana culture?
The tragedy in the banana culture. You know, I thought I'd bring it up. I thought I'd just uproot those tragedies of the banana cultivation and the exploitation.
That was pretty hard.
It was, man.
Chiquita Banana was a whole entire campaign.
When was that again, roughly?
I'm going to say 70s,
Yeah.
60s, late 60s, early 70s, before I was born.
Okay.
But I'm not sure exactly what year. But yeah, I mean, I remember Chiquita Banana being very popular when I was a 5-year-old in Miami.
The branding on that thing is ridiculous, man. I just thought that's what bananas were.
Yeah, it's just a...
I thought it was like one little salsa swinging, you know.
Every plantation,
just that one person just doing it all.
Hi.
But yeah, man. Listen, I'm so glad to have you on. If no one knows who you are, which is almost impossible, you're quite a character in Berlin. You run
Berlin.
Oh God, in New York and pretty much the continent of South America.
Wherever you drop me, I'm gonna land running.
So we're going to. I want to get to a bunch of stuff. I want to get to your days in New York. I want to talk about some Colombia stuff. I want to, but like you are the creator of Sunday Slips.
I am the glue. I would say I'm the glue more than the creator.
Okay.
It did come from a different show, and then I got to rebrand it with a similar format.
Yeah.
And then Winton joined me, and that became Sunday Slips.
Okay, fair
because
enough.
He brought in the music, and I brought in the comedy, and together we just had this really broad pull.
Yeah, it's amazing what you've been doing, man. Honestly, I am so impressed with any performer that's like sat in their ass and done nothings for a year. I mean, honestly, fuck off. Like, if you can come up to me in May or June 2021, right, when all this hopefully is going to be and I'm like, hey, so like, where's your new hour? You know, and they're like, I didn't write anything.
I don't have any time. You're like, excuse me, that's all you had.
What did you learn? What did you do? But I get it, like, not everyone wants to do the streaming stuff and the podcast stuff. And
I don't want to do it. It's not like I want to stream my show.
Yeah.
But I felt like the choice of doing nothing and losing the momentum and all the work that we put in throughout the 7 years of doing it live.
For sure.
It wasn't worth losing it. And I like to train. I love to train. So
Yeah.
That for me is my training. That's where I...
Well, honestly, mate, that's the reason that I started doing these podcasts and writing and doing sketches and doing cocktails and stuff. The only, if I wanted to be a fucking online content person, I would have been that.
I would have been that already, hundreds of years ago.
Totally, man, you know. But we've been forced into a kind of corner with our backs up against the wall, and we have to kind of deal with it, you know.
People are really laughing at me because for the whole time that I ran Sunday Slips, I was like, I'm against advertising online. It's show up no matter what, word of mouth. And then it's like, oh, so I gotta promote this online now.
I know, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare, man. But you're absolutely rocking it, and you guys have to definitely check it every single Sunday.
Every single Sunday.
There'll be links and stuff later on.
Yeah.
But I found...
And actually the dynamic has changed a lot, and it has incorporated things. When I first started doing the live stream, I was miserable with it. And I reached out to a life coach that I respect, obviously.
Okay, right.
And I was like, I need help finding fun in doing the parts that I hate doing.
Interesting.
Which is the production side, which is having more making everything into segments and having signatures that people immediately audibly and visually are like, oh, this is that, or this is going to happen. And how I brought my fun back into it. So it was a process of learning how to enjoy a new format.
Man, I absolutely hear you on that. For my stream, I completely and utterly changed the format of The Wandering Barman. The Wandering Barman, for those of you that have never seen it live, for those 200,000 people that follow me on my YouTube, you know, I'm not...
Hi, I'm Liliana Velásquez.
the YouTube subscription just goes, Sunday slips. I, like changed up my whole living room, so each corner was a different world. And I was getting costume changes. I dressed up as a dragon. I dressed up as a, you know, I was like, what the fuck am I doing as a 35-year-old man doing this shit? But I loved it.
Yeah.
And then that was magical, and it was kind of like fantastical and stuff for that, like once, maybe twice. And then I think I'd done it a third and a fourth time, and I was like, wow, this is really grim, because I was like, this isn't what I want to be doing. This isn't where I want to focus my energy.
Yeah.
I can't get round any of the stumbling blocks that are put in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm very quick to go, it doesn't matter. Instead of going, I've got this, man.
Yeah.
You put a problem in front of me, I'm going around it, tell me.
Yeah, but that's growth too. When you're uncomfortable and when something that you keep going with it, that's growth. I mean, it's commitment and growth and showing up for yourself.
Totally, man. I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like some life coaching advice right there.
You don't turn 43 without any life coaching.
Oh man, I loved it, man, because just before we were about to do the podcast, I was like, right, I'm just going to set stuff up, and then you just like called
my mom.
You just called your mom.
My eternal life coach.
Yeah. The biological one right there.
Well, I mean, we're a very close family, so we do talk at least 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's the family chat. So.
And it's great that you just have because I just had this amazing language coming from from the kitchen. I was trying
Tío,
to say,
mamita, ¿cómo estás? Ay, qué rico, ¿qué está pasando por allá? And she's like, ay, your hair is so short. And I'm like, yes, mom, you know that already.
I love it. So you're really close with your family then?
Yes, we are definitely very close, very
Okay.
close. But it also took work and effort, and I come from a very Catholic, conservative Republican.
Okay. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Checking all the boxes there.
Yeah. So I'm the one that left home at the moment I could, and I'm the one that's covered in tattoos, and the one that's worked in a dungeon, and her parents know that.
Okay.
So
We're going to get to that, by the way. Don't think I'm just... Don't think I'm being British and being really awkward and being like, a sex dungeon. Okay, so Sunday slips. We're coming to it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, so it's taken, because my parents are definitely, they're still married. They had 5 kids. They definitely have like that love is forever, no matter.
Okay.
Like on Wednesday, my mom called me. She's like, don't forget, it's Ash Wednesday. I'm like, Mom, it's Corona. Nobody's going to put an ash on your forehead. She's like, yes, but you have to. Thank God. I'm like, you mean the goddesses? And she's like, she gets really nervous. And she's like, why? Why do you have to? God has no gender. I'm like, then why are we using a male definition for God? Why don't you say goddess? And then I have to like laugh it off. I'm like, I'm just messing with you, but I'm not. But I'm like, I'm just messing with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of love and there's a lot of acceptance of who we all are, but it took years.
I feel that I've got a lot of South American friends, man. I'm kind of magnetized or kind of like there's a gravitational pull. Either I don't know what direction it is. Either I'm getting pushed there, or I'm getting pulled there. I don't know.
I think Scottish people have a lot of Latino energy in for what Europeans are.
I think there's a bit of a, and that's kind of because that's kind of what I wanted to say. There's a bit of a kind of similar mentality somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Catholic thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
And a family thing, like big families.
Big families, man. You know. Because I've got like a bunch of Chilean friends, a bunch of people from Argentina. And they're just bloody good fun. They're very family. They're just so fucking loud and open, and anything goes.
And you're
they're
like,
just so much
you're like,
fun.
oh, that's the crazy uncle. And you're like,
just getting some water. And they're just so much fun, man, to hang around.
I think it has to do with tragedy as well, because we come from societies where we grew up.
A lot of hardship down there.
A lot of murders, a lot of kidnappings, a lot of desaparecidos.
What the fuck is it up with you guys in kidnapping, man?
God. Yes.
Oh my God, you're the only country that does that shit.
Last night I pulled out some zip ties from my purse, and my friend was like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? You wanted a Colombian domino? This is like kidnapping 101.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens down there, man, because in Glasgow, it was the stab capital of all of Europe for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that anymore, thank God. But, man, you guys are just kidnapping shit down there. So that I'm going to keep you, and I'm going to get some ransom shit.
We walked down the middle of it. I had an Airbnb a few years ago from Costa Rica, 3 beautiful girls. And we were walking from Monday Night Mike's back to the apartment, and the 3 girls and I were walking down the middle of the street, and Winton was like, what is it with all these Latinos? They just walk down the middle of the street. And we all turned around without a second thought. We were like, because they can't put you in the van when you're in the middle of the street. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God, that's so crazy, man.
It's like, you're going to get hit by a car. Yes, but not in the car.
I can run out of the way of a oncoming car. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, okay, big family down there. You talk quite a lot. I mean, do you just call them up and they're always there, ready to go? Because I feel like whenever I call my family up, there always has to be like a time arranged, you know? You can't just call them up so spontaneously.
Well, my parents live on a country house in the middle of nowhere on a mountain by a lake. And they are always available. Like I get about 3 videos a day of my dad fixing things around the land with his parrot following him around.
Parrot?
Yeah, there's a parrot that's in love with him and yells all day long for him to rescue her. Yeah, so she'll like climb something precarious and she'll start screaming, "Dodo!" And then he comes over with a stick and so all day there's like 3-4 videos per day. My parents are always available, but my 4 siblings, now that takes a little bit of planning.
So are any of them still living down in the old country, or have they all kind of spread their wings?
My 3 sisters are in Miami, where we grew up a lot of our childhood.
Okay.
Or my childhood, their later years.
Yeah.
Age difference. And my brother's in the Coast Guard, and he's been stationed in Hawaii for the past 4 years.
Exotic.
And now he's being transferred within the next 6 months to Texas with his wife and 2 kids.
So, what's it like in Miami?
Miami, well, so I have memories of Miami from the 80s.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so my Miami.
What a time though, no?
Yeah, my Miami was like heroin addicts and old people dressed in tracksuits that were all one color.
Again, Glasgow right now. Fucking everyone can relate to that.
I remember, like my Miami was when it was transitioning before Versace died, where like before it became the hip place that it is
Mental.
now. And
I can't really imagine, like Glasgow is just so kind of, we have such good banter in Glasgow. We've got such good, we just have a laugh. But it's because it's so usually wet, dark and grey. And we just kind of sit inside most of the time and just drink and have a laugh, usually in public houses and stuff like that. So for us, I would imagine that we can't really project ourselves to Miami in the 80s, beachfronts,
But it was really,
rollerblades, cocktails.
Yeah. No, but Miami in the 80s was beachfronts and like everything was falling apart. It was
poor.
Yeah, it was just abandoned.
Interesting.
It was an area that was like ghetto-y. The South Beach that you know now, that you hear about now, which is stars and famous people everywhere, and Gloria Estefan just opened a restaurant and that's probably since mid-90s on starting.
Okay.
Yeah. And then everybody from New York is one of those, what do they call it, when they flock to warmer places in the winter?
Migrate?
Yes.
Yeah. they just migrate. Yeah. Okay.
So then I would say early 2000s, a lot of New York City people started buying real estate. Then you have.
And that's when it changed.
Yeah. And you have so you have South Beach, Miami Beach, Palm Beach. Palm Beach is where all the money is. Right. So that whole strip is very long, and it's got like old money into like crackheads into new money.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, 80s Miami, I just think I just see a cop dressed in black.
You're just talking like Don Johnson and.
Absolutely.
That was very real in a sense.
But so what did you do at that
So
point?
at that time I was in high school, middle school, high school, and I never went to school. My mom would drop me off and I would enter the school and exit. And then I would hitchhike.
What were you up to?
I would hitchhike to the beach.
Really?
Every day.
That's awesome.
Every day until I got kicked out of school, and then I was put into Ombudsman's Educational Services,
What is
which
that?
was one of the first computer schools where you came in and you just clocked in like it was a job.
Right.
And you sat in front of a computer with a file that said what you had to accomplish, and then you were like, I'm done, and you clocked out. It was 3 hours a day. That was it. It was for good students that hated school.
Oh.
And my parents were afraid that I was going to be a junkie or who knows what, because I was definitely partying a lot. It was the beginning of raves.
Oh, so were you kind of, I don't know, were you on that road to?
I was definitely ironing clothing
Right,
while
okay.
I was coming down from acid.
Right, okay.
I was like, I'm okay, Mom. I don't know if I was down that road. I don't have an addictive personality, but I think that they did make the right choice of pulling me away and then sending me to Colombia. But it did teach me to take care of myself because they removed me from.
So did your family move from Colombia up to Miami, or was it just your siblings? Did your mum and dad also move up to Miami?
You mean, yeah, we all moved together.
You all moved together. So how come you went? They obviously still had property back in Colombia. You moved back.
So okay, I was born in New Jersey.
Okay, right. Nice.
So my parents met in Queens, New York. They didn't move. They didn't know each other in Colombia.
Okay.
They met
fair
there.
enough. Okay, fair enough. I thought they went from the old country up to the new country, up to fucking New York, down. Okay, fair enough.
They met there, and then they got married and had me, and then they kept trying to build a business or have life in Colombia, but it was the 80s and 90s, which was a terrible time to live in Colombia.
Sure.
So they kept bringing us back. Like, they were the immigrants that had the American dream, which was make money in the USA, live in your country. That's the American dream. It's not like, no.
Okay.
So, and then with them being so religious and Catholic, and me being so wild, which was obvious from birth. Like, it was just obvious.
Why?
Because I was always naked and running around. And
Did you just come like tap dancing out the vagina?
Much, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be at a restaurant with my parents, age 5, and I'd be like, I met the manager. He said the ice cream is free. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I got a tour. So I don't think they knew how to empower my truth, but they never negated it. They were just afraid that I would die of AIDS or something like that. Like,
Okay. They wanted to protect you. You want to, you're.
Yeah, I mean, my parents don't do drugs. They don't, they're not.
Yeah.
So it was also outside of there. And then they thought to themselves, how do we raise 4 other children if this is the firstborn?
Way to set an example there. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so cool, man. So you were high school Miami, and then how come you ended up back in New York?
Oh, so high school Miami. Then my parents got nervous about everything that was happening, and they decided to move us to Colombia, where my dad stayed in Miami making dollars and sending it to my mom while we all went to private school, where I got kicked out of 3 different private schools.
Check you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just asked, like, how did you get thrown out? Was it just by not going, misbehavior, or was
Not
there
going,
Right.
but I had straight A's, so it didn't matter that I didn't go. I was like,
Yeah,
I get great grades, so.
Yeah, what's wrong with what's the deal? Just like, hey man, I'm chilling out. Like, give me a test. There's your fucking A. Fuck off.
That's what I did, but it
Okay.
was nuns and control and the wild spirit, whatever. I ended up graduating from a school called Miguel de Unamuno, which my mom calls Miguel Me Lo Fumo, because it was a pothead school.
Okay.
And again, it was another one of those computer schools where you came in, you're like, 3 hours, and I'm out.
All right.
And my mom still tells people I got my GED, even though she was at my graduation.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes. So from the moment I was 15, 16 in Colombia, I knew it was punishment. Like, I knew I was sent to Colombia as punishment, that my parents had to separate to make a choice to raise their children how they wanted.
Yeah.
And it was put on my shoulders that it was my fault because of my behavior.
Okay.
So my goal was like, as soon as I turn 18, I'm going to New York City and I'm out.
New York, New Jersey.
And my grandmother lived in New Jersey and my aunt, so.
Okay.
So I landed with them and they threw away all my clothing.
Your parents?
My aunt.
Your aunt threw away all your clothing?
All of it.
Aye?
All of it.
Did you have something to say about that?
Of course I did, but then she bought me a whole new wardrobe that looked like hers.
Oh.
That wasn't the first time. People have always thrown away my clothing, which is really interesting.
Well, that is an interesting point because you are like you're so you dress up. You're such
love
a kind
dressing
of,
up.
You're such a kind of costume person. You just like love kind of this character stuff that you always do.
Well, I did move to New York to study fashion.
Okay. So, but I mean, like, there's one thing that being fashion does interchange your personality for sure.
Yeah, it's armor.
Yeah. But it seems like all the stuff that I've ever seen you do, man. I mean, where do you think that comes from? This kind of constant changing of character? Because I don't think you want to be someone else.
No,
I just think you want to play someone else.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
For me, you seem a very like strong and independent and comfortable person with yourself. Yet you play all these characters. You know. It's kind of like you just want to play with everyone. You know.
I love it. Well, I have a big family, so I think a lot of the characters come from like 7 aunts, and they were all very different. They all raised me quite a bit, so I have I tap into them. I love theater and I love costume play. I love working with masks that tap into your spine. You know, none of this changes. I think my core is Liliana, definitely, but you know, I like role playing.
On that note,
I was walking home from my friend's place in Mitte, and I had a fur coat on and like a vintage hat, and I'm walking. Some guy stops me. He's like, "You look fabulous. Where are you going?" I'm like, "Nowhere." And he's like, "Why are you all dressed up?" And in Colombia, we say,
I love that.
"Yeah." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Yeah.
And in Colombia, we say, "Primero muerta que sencilla," and it's death before boring.
Well, I usually reference this quote quite a lot at the time, and it kind of it's starting to get its way into every other part of life that seems to come in, and it's this artist who was drawing, and some interviewer asked him like, so when did you start drawing? And his response was, when did you stop? You know, and it's kind of true because like this kind of dressing up, it's like you done it when we were young.
I did it all the time as a kid.
Even I mean, you know, when you're a kid, you're dressing up, you're putting on jackets and whatever the hell it is, and you're constantly playing different characters.
My great aunts had a room the size of this kitchen with the little room with a tiny door in the country house, and you entered it and it's full of costumes and wigs.
Wow.
And this was just for all the cousins to fool around with and be entertained on the weekends.
Brilliant.
So.
I love it, man, because you whip out. I mean, I don't know. I've seen you do several costume changes in a fucking 3-hour show. Like
I can do it right now.
It slips. I bet you could, man. I bet you could. And you've got all your blacks on and stuff now. And it's just like it's mental. It's like you're ready to go.
I'm ready. Where's the stage? I trained method. Lily Lodge.
Do you have any kind of characters that you just always are happy to go to? Like absolute favourites where you're like, I will do that whenever you want?
I tend to fall in love with a character, and then they go into my muscle memory to a point where I can always call them back, but they become less favourites when I have to do them too often.
Okay.
So like Natasha Bikinioff, love her.
She's brilliant.
But there was she's coming back this Sunday. She'll be hosting Slips.
Oh!
Yeah, because I had a request from audience. People are like, we want to see Natasha.
Okay,
and I
nice.
was like, all right. But I ended up doing her so much with the tour and everything that I was like, no, people need to know Liliana Velásquez is Natasha. Like, and so that is when I'm like a little jealous of my characters. I'm like, oh. Why don't they say the actress Liliana Velásquez in the role of...
Interesting. Yeah.
But now I have Conchita, which I love. She's the aerobics instructor that's all like a positive influence guru, and she's really intense.
Nice.
She's amazing. And Felipa, who is a person in lockdown who is doing okay. She's keeping a journal. You know?
Oh man, brilliant. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
it,
character
man.
work is really wonderful, even just to understand certain things about your own psychology that you don't really bring out on a regular day. Because when you push into a character, you're enhancing something that you don't really play with sometimes.
Okay, yeah. I've started to realize a little bit that the Wandering Barman could be seen as like a character, but I don't really.
But that's you.
I know,
Yeah.
and I don't. I'm trying to kind of figure out a lot of things in this kind of COVID times with the Wandering Barman, but taking it to like, you know, fucking online streaming, blah blah blah. And I'm kind of imagining down the road people going, "What the fuck are you?" You know, like why
I'm
are
a
you just
wandering barman.
Yeah. But all I am, right, is Chris Davis just wearing braces, and they're like, "Why are you wearing braces? Why are you wearing a black shirt?" And I'm like, "Just, you know, to give." Are you?
Why
you a
not?
character?
Why
I
not?
know.
When did you stop wearing braces?
Totally.
It's called braces?
Yeah, braces.
So cute.
Yeah, brace yourself.
Nipples. That's all I think of.
So I don't know.
But you have a very strong muscular ability with your face, so people might think that you're doing characters when you're just really enthusiastic and expressive.
I need to get back into that. I think I've stopped doing that quite a bit, man. I don't really know why. I need to do more.
Or you could do a small sketch where it's like, I'm Chris Davis, and then you come out as a character, and I'm not Chris Davis.
That just
real me, not me.
Yeah. That sounds too close to the mentality, like the mentalness that's going on, and the fucking the bunch of people that want to say things inside them. I'm trying to keep them at bay. Like, I'm just one person. Honestly, I'm just one person.
That's why I started hosting Slips with now at the live stream. I'm like, hi, I'm Liliana Velásquez, but my friends call me. And then whatever the character is.
I love it, man. You led an extremely interesting life in New York.
New York.
Yeah, you were dominatrixing all over the place. Mm-hmm. How was that?
I was actually on Opie and Anthony radio as a dominatrix before I became a comedian.
Yeah.
Where I ended up putting a ball gag in Jim Norton's mouth and spanking him on the radio.
You know that? Hashtag Jim Norton.
Hashtag Jim Norton. I love you. You know that. Pay me.
I can't wait to post that.
But I didn't know who he was. And then when I started working at the Comedy Cellar, not as a comedian at the time, we met and obviously he was like,
Okay.
And we became really great friends. And then years later, I was like, oh my God. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, man, cool. So you were, New York is full of famous people, I suppose. They're just, you're constantly coming in contact with rich people, performers, these kind of the Wall Street guys who have got like the G-strings and stuff underneath the jeans.
Yeah, but they're not famous.
No, but they're rich.
They're infamous.
Yeah. And you meet them for 45 minutes, and they've got the little kind of things, yeah. How long did you do that for? Have you ever stopped?
No.
When did you stop?
I know. I keep telling people I retired. I kind of retired in the sense...
Kind of retired professionally?
Professionally when I moved to Berlin because I was dating a man who was not kinky. But I thought he was. But he wasn't. But he just liked to cross-dress. But he wasn't kinky, which was really confusing.
Okay.
And he worshipped me. And then, the relationship after that, also not kinky. So... And I'm not very poly. I welcome a third person to play with me and my partner, and I welcome these things. But I'm not poly. I don't just share. I don't have.
Poly's not.
I don't have the ability to share my energy like that, and I respect the people who can.
I think there's a big difference, I'm
just a slut.
Sharing sex, all right.
Yeah.
Sharing love, fuck that.
Slut.
You can't. There's only. You got your wee person, and that's what you want.
I already have to talk to my family every day.
Just fuck that. I don't know how people get the energy for that, honestly. And I'm talking about talking to family. No, I don't know how people have energy to share the love and all that kind of stuff. Fuck that.
I'm happy when it's like a party and something happens and you bring a third person in, and then they go home. But developing relationships that are really, lifestyle relationships with multiple people, it's exhausting for me. I feel drained.
Honestly, mate. No, I totally agree with you.
And then I just feel like I'm everyone's mom.
There's something great about, I love having a party when there's a little bit of debauchery around, some drinks are flowing, and some gets a little bit, okay, right, that's happening.
I'm naked. You're like, she's ready.
Yeah. What's it like, man, when you're a bit of a kind of dominatrix and you're into a little bit of kinkiness and the other person isn't? Like, what do you have to totally tone it down, or do you say to them, here, man, come on, can you come and meet me halfway here?
That's the ideal, is that you meet me halfway. And that's, I think, why the last two relationships didn't work, because neither one of them wanted to meet me halfway. But in the end, love is about many more things. So kink is just a part of it. Mm-hmm. If you do end up evolving with me in that, we're probably going to have a longer relationship that continues to evolve because we have better communication. Mm-hmm. and because you're able to understand things about pain and pleasure that I actually really need in my life, and I neglected for the past all of the time that I've lived in Berlin, which most people can't believe because Berlin is super kinky.
Yeah.
But I think that also was a turn off for me when I got here.
Oh my god, everyone does the kinkiness, fuck you.
Yeah, I was like, for free? No. I also wasn't, now I'm 43, so when I started being a dominatrix, I was 24. I was a natural already from just, Colombia, I would say.
Just those swinging hips. Yeah.
And this is the first time in my life that I'm enjoying it as a lifestyle and not, of course you can always pay me, but.
Is it, so you never went down that road here at all professionally in Berlin? Cause
I tried to. I did interview at, I want to say Pandora's, but that's in New York. Avalon. I did go and do an interview at Avalon Dungeon, which was amazing. I thought it was beautiful. I walked in and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm at home.
I've never heard of this, man.
Oh, it's in Marzahn.
Oh, right.
That's why. But
okay,
it's just
Marzahn, by the way, is like a place outside Berlin.
Yeah, Marzahn is like Coney Island.
It's a little far away. But,
but it was just exactly what I trained in, and like the space, and made me feel. I love playing in a professional space. Okay. So.
And that was all professional space.
Yeah. Like,
and would clients go there? Was it
ideally that's what would happen, but I don't like to work freelance in S&M because. I don't mind it if I have everything set up properly, but ideally, I'd like to have a security person that's on call, right there outside, just in case anything goes wrong.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
So you're going to run to someone's fucking house? Fuck that.
Exactly. I really have to know you. Or I really have to be in one of those moods where I'm like, let's do something dangerous for me.
Yeah. No, but I think as well, like going into someone's house, they know that's their space.
Yeah.
They know every single little nook and cranny of that place, and you're walking in there as a stranger, like, hey,
yeah, exactly. And as much as in S&M, especially for me, I'm the dominant. But there's likelihood that you can outpower me in your house with the things that you know. So
yeah, exactly.
You're allowing me to be dominant to you. We're doing a power exchange by choice, by consent. But if you were a psycho and you decided to
fuck, yeah.
I'm one to jump out of a car in a window, no problem. I know how to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
That's not the exit I want to make.
But you also, not that this kind of changes anything, because you don't want to put yourself in any sort of violent or dangerous situation anyway. But you've got some self-defense stuff in you, man. You can kick someone's ass. Yeah. You've got some moves.
I'm flexible and I'm fast and I'm strong, but I also can read the other person's,
body
abilities.
language.
Yeah. So
that's all about. There's quite a lot to do with that, actually, isn't there? Kind of like, where are you going with that? You know?
And understanding your spacing. So, like, if you feel like you're in danger, how do you maintain a certain amount of space where you can exit?
Yeah.
Versus when they're so close in your space, and then you have to use a different move. But I was really fortunate to get certified as a trainer with Pretty Deadly Self-Defense, which is by a woman from New York City who had a very bad violation happen to her, and then she was already doing martial arts, and she got certified she got her belts in ninjutsu, and then she developed this program which is not martial arts. It's based on ninjutsu, but it's just like teaching women and minorities and people that are in high risk situations quick moves that will hopefully allow them to create space to get the fuck out.
It's creating the space.
That's the most important thing about it.
It really is, man. Yeah,
because to stay and fight, you become the aggressor.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to fight to get that space. But if you stay and fight, then you become the aggressor. And then the energy shifts. And if you do get police involved, then you're the one that looks like you're the one that's in trouble.
Oh God, there's a patriarchy right there. You fucking someone's coming at you. You punched them. The police turn up. They're like, are you little crazy? Crazy stupid woman.
Yeah. Oh, you stripper.
Yeah. So shit, man.
Or whatever, sex worker, anything. They'll just pinpoint
if they see you with a bag of whips, then you're the underdog.
Then the cops are like, can I take you home?
Yeah, they're like, oh, so you brought this on yourself. A lot of nonsense.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So. But in the end, when you're in a situation, you have to learn about peripheral vision. You have to learn about trusting your gut. And society stops teaching people that, especially women. Like, no, you're just being too sensitive. No, bitch. If your gut is tingling, don't go down the alley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't go down the alley.
Absolutely. That wasn't the burrito from yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the danger in the alley.
That's like when I first came to Berlin. They're like, let's go through Golitzer Park. It's only 2 a.m. I was like, no, bitches. And they're like, but it's Berlin. It's safe. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, good.
Parks
yeah,
are
yeah,
not
yeah.
designed for women walking at night. There's no lights. There's no pathways.
Yeah, fuck that.
No park has like nighttime lighting.
Anyone that goes through those things
Exactly.
is asking for trouble, really.
That's
you know?
what I say.
I hate it when my friends, like, particularly girls, I have to say it, you know,
It's true.
They're drunk and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, they're on the bike. Oh, but I'm really fast going through it. Just fucking...
No.
It takes an extra 5 minutes to go round the park, come on.
Also, that's another thing I tell girls. I'm like, it's preventive maintenance, okay? You had enough money to drink all fucking night. Save $20 for your cab ride.
Totally, man.
Get that guy that's been trying to buy you drinks all night to buy you $20 of drinks and take a cab home.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that is how it's done. It's how it's done in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
It's how it's done in the New York
Or all
City.
these people here, they leave their drink alone. They're like, I'm gonna have it. And I'm like, where's your drink? I left it at the bar. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, it's
No,
weird.
you take your drink everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, you have to.
If somebody
be careful.
buys me a drink, I want to see it poured.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. Listen, do you have any? I like to ask my guests because I think that people like to know any weird and interesting traits or habits that you kind of that you have in life that you take with you in your pocket around traveling this earth.
I have many. If you've ever lived with me, Paul Salomon, you'll know that I weekly will rearrange all of the furniture in my house.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because I hate dust in corners. Like, I hate it. And I have a lot of plants, and I have a cat, so it just fills up. So, like, weekly, if you live with me, you're like, where's the silverware? And I'm like, oh, I put the...
You change that shit?
I change everything. I change the table. I can't change the refrigerator because I have a very big one, but I change everything. Like.
So you don't just pull out the couch, give it a hoover, put it back?
No. No.
Okay.
It's a lot. But it makes me very happy.
Right, is this, so it's nothing to do with like feng shui or anything, it's just...
I think it has to do with growing up with a maid.
Okay, right.
And like coming home and having everything just like done.
Okay.
And so now when I live alone and I have a small enough apartment that I can do this, I'm just like, oh, there it is. And then I start with one little corner and I'm like, oh no, this has to go. And then I realize, I'm like, oh, we should put a shelf here. This will be better. And then...
I don't have time for that, man.
I don't know how I make time for it, but it's definitely part of my routine. Like,
so how you do this how many times?
let's say 3 times a month. Even all my friends come over, they're like, oh, yep. I see. Like, I'll change rooms. If I live alone, I'm like, oh, now the bedroom's going to be this room. Now the bedroom's going to be this
Yeah, to be fair, like, I wouldn't mind a little change up as well, actually. My room, my furniture and stuff, I've just been in the exact same position for a couple of years now. All right.
I love it. It makes me feel like I'm in a different apartment. It's definitely therapeutic, but it drives other people crazy. And I think my poor neighbor downstairs is like, what do you do all the time? It sounds like people are moving. I'm like, I am.
Just fucking moving whole beds.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And I keep everything in little bags, like even my underwear. So
Yeah?
if you open my drawer,
No.
there's a bag with my underwear and it's all full.
Like a little plastic bag?
Like, no.
Like a serial killer bag?
Like a serial killer bag.
Yeah.
Like lace and, like, grandma's a serial killer. Yeah, so you open it, it's like, oh, all bras, not all panties, all thigh highs,
Okay.
all garter belts. Yeah.
Nice, okay, interesting.
If I open a drawer and it's like messy, I'm like, who's been here?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, okay. I mean, I was going to say, that would happen with anyone if their pants have been moved. Usually you would, but I wouldn't notice if someone's been in my pant drawer.
I'd notice. I'd be like, why is the blue bra in front of the pink bra?
Oh shit! I like that. I kind of like that.
Next to the aqua bra, next to the yellow bra.
So listen, man.
Color coordinating.
But
I've never been diagnosed with OCD or anything like that because I refuse to get diagnosed.
Yeah, me too, man. I know, like, I'm sure I'm ADHD or
like,
fucking autistic or something.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm living with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. I mean, look, if you've got it or you have troubles with it, fair enough.
I'm gonna have to live with it whether you diagnose me or not.
That's the way I see it, man. You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely come to a point in my life where, the little weird things that I have got going on, I've kind of dealt with them and I can live with them and they don't affect other people. So why the fuck? Well, where's the problem?
It doesn't affect anybody that I rearrange my furniture.
Yeah, fuck it, But with your blue bra, red bra scenario, I'm in my house, in my place. I'm fairly tidy, right? So everything kind of has its place. But when I'm at a bar, it's like a fucking. The Havana, the rum has to be there.
Yeah.
I put the scissors there.
I want to be able to grab my bottle to pour without even looking. It's got to be like,
Yeah. And all night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you pick up my bottle and it's over there where the whiskey should be, I'm going to kill you, man.
Furious.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that with, that's definitely like a part of an OCD thing. I used to do that
I
when
think maybe that also comes from working in service, because like when I worked in the restaurants, or you know, like you come in and you're like restocking, and if somebody restocks badly, you're just like, oh.
Because it's a time saving thing,
Yes.
you know. It's like you're going to slow yourself down if things are not stocked properly, or if you keep moving my fucking bottle of booze, you know, in the wrong place. That's why it's always good to have like a really good team. But I used to have that 4 years old. I used to play with toy cars. And I used to stretch. I used to make like a big traffic jam with the cars, and there must have been about easily, at the very least, 100 cars, right? And you know, I would go to bed, and my dad would come in from work, and he would just swap like a car and a car.
And you would notice
Immediately.
Oh, and
Immediately.
he knew he was doing that to you as well.
No, I would just. I wouldn't be like that. Oh, my dad, because I was like 4.
Okay.
You know,
You'd
so
just be like, what?
I would just be like that exactly. The first thing I would do, and then I would start playing again, and it was quite. So I don't know if there's fucking some shit in there. I don't know. Anyway, listen, we are nearing, we're nearing the end, but there's always one last little question that I like to, that you get to ask me. You can ask me any one question, whatever you want. I don't know it prior.
Why did you move to Berlin?
Because of a girl.
Figures.
Yeah, figures.
We all do that.
Yeah, yeah. It's always a girl.
It's always a person. Yeah.
It's either work or love. Yeah, I moved. I met my my ex Annika. We met at Aberdeen University when she was over there doing an exchange year, and then she moved back to Berlin. Well, she's not from Berlin, but she moved back to Berlin, and I still had a year left to do. And then I came to Berlin. We lasted about 2 years. And then we broke up, and I just stayed because it was so much fun.
I know.
I mean...
Yeah, my friend asked me, he's like, why do you live in Berlin? You don't speak German. I'm like, I speak German. It's just really bad.
Yeah. I think at that time, I was 23, and I kind of just looked around.
What?
Yeah. And I was in this relationship, and it was a lovely enough relationship, but...
You're only in your 30s?
I'm 35.
Damn it.
36 this year. Yeah. So I was like, I've been in this relationship for 3 years. I found myself at the age of like 23, 24, and I owned shit. I was like,
That's pretty cool.
No, it's not. I fucking hated it. I was like, I own a fridge, I own a washing machine, I've got this like nice
But you have to
cupboard
here in
thing.
Berlin, or else you have nothing.
Well, I know, but that freaked me out at that young an age. You know, I was like that. Oh, I felt like I was settling down. Way too quickly.
In Scotland, when you rent an apartment, it comes with a refrigerator.
Yeah, usually.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
This is so weird when I moved here. I was like, what do you mean I have to buy my own refrigerator?
Yeah, dude. Like,
I'm renting.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, the Germans are so weird. They take the light bulbs, man.
It's so strange.
The light bulbs out the actual fixings.
Why?
They're just like that. No,
they just leave the cord that's like...
Yeah. Not even like so that you can screw a light bulb in.
No.
They
just
cut the
cord. Just wires, loose wires.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I came, and then you know it was all fine and stuff, and I kind of just like moved into somewhere else, and that's when I kind of really started doing comedy and stuff, and that's when I started to find a whole bunch of friends, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, because I wasn't ready to move back to Scotland just then, you know. But yeah, that's it. Is there anything else that you would like to cover before we close up shop?
Well, I do want to say that being that you asked about famous people, we never got really into that. I am a professional tango dancer, and in New York City, I got to dance with.
Please let me know who this is. Don't make me look like a fool.
Defoe, William Defoe.
Oh, William Defoe! William Defoe, wow!
Tango dance with that man.
Is he a good tango dancer?
He's married to an Argentinian.
Oh!
Who's young, like.
Apparently he's got a massive penis.
No idea, but like I had to control my breathing and my heart rate. I was like, yeah, this is whatever.
Because so when was this, roughly?
Probably when I was 28.
So, I mean, he's done Platoon and stuff by now. He's been in loads of stuff.
Everything. And he's
I
got
love that
energy
guy.
in it. And Isabella Rossellini once at a tango night at La Nacional del Tango, which is a beautiful tango space in New York City. I was dancing, and Christoph, the German man who brought me to Berlin, was there photographing me. And I'm dancing and dancing and dancing, and I'm wearing like this little Kiki de Montparnasse, tiny top, and like high-waisted silk pants. And I didn't even notice that Isabella Rossellini was there, and all of a sudden I'm turning, going to the bar, and she comes up to me, she grabs me by the face, and she's like, "You are beautiful." And I was like, "Is anybody else watching? This is
Christoph, take a
Isabella."
photo, take a photo.
Yeah, like this is Isabella Rossellini holding my face, saying I'm beautiful. L'Oreal. Those are my favorite New York City moments with famous people.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool. I don't think I've got any. I haven't come across any famous people. I'm such a wimp when it comes to meeting famous people. Like I get starstruck quite easily.
Yeah. And I'm like, do you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, that's great. And
yeah. So
Liliana
well before you.
Velásquez.
I like it. Oh man, mate, that was delightful.
Yes.
That was absolutely delightful.
I'm so glad to
I
be here.
laughed a lot there, man. That was cool. Just hearing all your mad stories. You're brilliant.
I have one more question for you. Because
go.
I'm practicing this with everybody that I meet right now due to the pandemic.
Sure.
Tell me 10 things off the top of your head that you're grateful for.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
10 things.
10. Quick, easy, fast.
You don't know how much of a cynic I am. Cynicism.
Whoa, yes.
Pessimism. Optimism. Food on the table. I'm not going to lie. The German state government for helping me, giving me some fucking shit. I'm so grateful for all the friends that have actually genuinely helped me through, like giving me music and helping me do illustrations and stuff. It's going to sound cheesy, but little Gemma, oh my god, I have to. She got me through some shit. She got me through some shit. Let's see what else. 2 things left.
Two more.
My penis.
Woo! That's good gratitude right there. That's good gratitude.
And number 10, flowers. I love a flower.
Me too.
You know, got a little set of flowers the other day. A bunch of flowers rather, and it was good.
I agree.
It was good. Anyway, that was weirdly not on point, but there we go. I don't know if number 9. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
That's a practice.
It's a practice. I love it.
Gratitude's an attitude.
So, yeah, thanks Liliana. Listen, we're going to have all your links below the video.
Yeah.
Click Sunday Slips. I don't know, fucking Defense, Tango,
Everything.
whatever, everything that you can
Reach
possibly
out,
imagine.
I'm here.
I'll be there. Click on the link below for the deep dive on the banana daiquiri, and there's also a link to buy me a coffee where all my stuff is that I've been doing lately. You can buy me a coffee or not. I don't even care anymore. Liliana, thank you so much for doing this. It was
so
cool.
much. I loved it. And remember, I always say, keep your fingers on your clit.
Perfect. Bye.
Excuse me, where can I get myself a drink?